What's up, Gothamites? Cinematic Controller here, and today we're doing another video on the channel talking about the possible Batman situation that the DCU may potentially have. All that after the intro. Hit it. Well, back on the conversation of the DCU's Batman problem. It distinguishes from two problems. A being the fact that we're going to have two Batman on the big screen at the same time. This is unprecedented for Batman because we've never had two live-action Batman on the big screen at the same time. So basically, this will be a matter of finding out how will DC be able to handle having two different Batman and being able to help diversify and explain to the audiences who are not as comically aware as to why there's two different Batmen. Mainly the people who these movies are made for are more aware, so that's not a problem. But there's a lot of people who go and see these movies that don't know quite as much about the genre, and they don't understand even if you tell them that it's the Addison Batman is an Elseworlds Batman and different from the DCU Batman. And that's the major thing with that. The next big-ish problem is when in Batman's career they're starting. So, Brave and the Bold is supposed to take place with Damian as the Robin, which is pretty dang problematic because it creates a whole host of different problems. Mainly the amount of Batman mythos that's being skimped by doing this. By doing this, we're skipping pretty late into Batman's career, making him not quite a Batman that people are going to be able to kind of get to see his story unfold. Obviously, it also means there are certain comic arcs that we're not going to see on the big screen most likely, which include, but are not limited to, Death in the Family, Under the Red Hood, and Nightfall. All stories that I think would be great to see in live action. Because, yeah, that'd be great to see just a live-action Bruce Wayne finding out about Jason and finding out how he kind of screwed the pooch on that. Also, it'd be pretty cool to get to see the Nightfall storyline in live action. I'd love to just see it. Honestly, at this rate, I would take just a Nightfall movie at this rate, as we have still yet to get one.
The police know the victim fell from a nearby building. There's not much else in the file. His identity might shed some light on things.
Like, we haven't gotten a Nightfall movie, which would be pretty dang cool. Like I said, Under the Red Hood and Death in the Family, we're not going to see, which is kind of a shame, but when they start this late into the career, another thing this affects is kind of more the general DC universe, mainly with A being the world's finest. So, Clark and Batman have always had this different dynamic of frenemies. Well, unfortunately, there is not going to be able to be this, or it's just going to be very awkward, because if it takes place only a few years after Superman, as of Superman, I think Clark has been in action for a few years. Like I said, I haven't really seen the movie myself, so I don't know all the details. But with that meaning Clark is relatively new to being a superhero, we're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. A lot of getting to see everything. But not only is World's Finest affected, but the Teen Titans are also affected, because of course they are. And the reason that the Teen Titans are affected is because of one member, Robin. Or at least the founding Robin. So in almost every story arc, the founding Robin of the Teen Titans is Dick Grayson when he's Robin. Well, they're going to be a Teen Titans movie, this kind of questioning what the loss will look like. Because the Teen Titans have always been kind of like a sidekick version of the Justice League, with the original cast of the Teen Titans being all sidekicks almost exclusively. So with that means that Robin would never. Dick Grayson is either going to have founded the Titans, and we're not going to see that on the big screen, which also kind of causes issues potentially with another comic arc, the Judas Contract. But they can still make it work even if Dick is Nightwing. But that's not the only thing. Like, the big thing with the Titans is that there's the relationship between Dick and Starfire. If they make Starfire the appropriate age to match with the other members of the Titans, then that would be pretty weird. Obviously, there's no guarantee that we're going to get to see every member of the Bat family. Would be ideal, but there's always the chance that we won't. And one of the people of the Bat family that I think would probably be getting cut would be Red Hood. And it's mainly because Red Hood's not very notable to the general consensus. Most people don't know Red Hood, but Batgirl's also another potential that they could cut because of her lack of popularity. Again, most people don't really know much about Batgirl. Red Hood's popularity kind of grew in the comics and with Batman Arkham Knight, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot that can be done. Obviously, we won't really know until we get to see the movie in full effect, but I'm kind of hoping that James Gunn doesn't screw the pooch with Batman, because if they do, it will kind of ruin another opportunity of giving Batman an opportunity to try and dominate the big screen. And I say used to because Batman was pretty popular in '89 with the Keaton film. Batman Returns did pretty well. And then after that, the movies kind of went meh with Batman Forever and then Batman and Robin, respectively. Then in the early 2000s, Batman kind of got a resurgence in movies with the Nolan trilogy, with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, this is one of those things that we didn't get to see Robin in any of those live action takes other than the really bad Joel Schumacher films of Batman, Robin, and Batman Forever. But like I said, I kind of hope that they don't mess it up. But we'll just have to wait and see. But that's what the Batman problem kind of lies. Because if they do this, they're going to be missing out on a bunch of story arcs and missing out on a lot of opportunities as well. And another thing that's kind of affected is the Legion of Doom. Now, depending on how often Batman has fought Joker, we're not going to get to see a similar relationship between the Legion of Doom members of Lex Luthor and the Joker. However, that's a separate issue and something we'll have to wait and see when we finally get to see the Legion of Evil on the big screen. What's y'all's thoughts, opinions, all that? I'd like to hear everyone's opinions. Do y'all think that potentially the DCU may have a Batman problem, or do y'all think that maybe I'm just crazy and that this is all not gonna be a problem?
How much longer we gotta
like I said,
guys, huh? It's freezing.
just put your comments down in the section below, and I'll definitely respond to them. If y'all enjoyed that video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video. Peace out, squad.